Good afternoon, everybody. Frankie Day here for Frankie Day Models. Okay, fellas, I got for you another complete build I've done here. You guessed it, USS Shangri-La by Renwal, 1/500 scale. Okay, fellas, I got her done. She's all finished. I finished up last evening. It's a lot of work of this thing. I posted some pictures on the Airfix modeling page of it, and I think on Old School Modeling page, my personal page, I think I posted some pictures on there too. You guys can review them if you wish. Right now, you know, until the bench next, I'm really having some ball here, fellas. I'm working on these old fart models. I'm working on the USS Forrestal. That'll be coming up next to play. I have a video of that coming up real soon, so stay posted for that one. Okay, this is going to be the final reveal for this build I've done. I bought this kit probably about maybe 3 years ago. I say 4 at the most. And what it is, it's a reboxing of the old 1/500 scale 1962 classic blueprint model of the USS Shangri-La. Renwal Model Company was noted for making medical student models like the Invisible Man, the Invisible Woman. And they probably made a few other anatomy models too. They made too. They're great for that. Then they started saying, "What the heck? Enough of this jazz, let's go to something else." So they start making these, they call it blueprint models they produce. They're very good subjects for the day. And a lot of companies revealed it and never made them, or any other company made them. So they made a lot of, a complete total constant scale line in 1/500. They made a Seminole, which is a attack cargo ship, the USS Sarasota, which was a Haskell class attack transport, the Gappleton, which is a Baltimore cruiser, the St. Paul, the Helena, and the Shangri-La, the Ticonderoga, the Compass Island, the Farragut, the Dewey. They made a bunch of those old 1/500 scale classic kits, and back in the days they were very good values for the day, and they're excellent kits. They kind of superseded Revell a little bit because they're very detailed. Such as this old kit right here has got the finishing, but there is some flaws in this kit, I understand. But I'll show it to you as we look at the finished product. Okay, I've been busy, guys. I got the B-25 all primed. I got my F3H Damon. All it needs, like I said, it needs the canopy done and the anti-glitter panel. She's finished, so stay posted on that. I have some. I'll have the complete final reveals for those coming up probably one day this week sometime. But right now I'm kind of turning to on the USS Forrestal, the Forrestal. And I'll make a video of that probably very shortly. Maybe next video after this, I don't know. Depends what's on the agenda. Okay, enough jabbing, enough talking. We're going to take a look at the USS Shangri-La, circa 1956. There she is right there, fellas. I've added the rust on it too, because they were rusty. When I was on the Big O with the Riscany, she looked just like this right here. This is the Riscany of the same class ship, the old Essex class carriers. And by 1950, right after, during the Korean War, they decided to angle the deck, as you see right here. By angling the deck will allow the aircraft to take off at an angle, and they can launch aircraft at the same time as they land. And this gave way to the first supercarrier, which is the USS Forrestal. And we'll go in and look at the deck a little bit here. The deck is pretty much like that of the real thing. Because you gotta remember, these OSS class carriers, these things were, they're wooden decks painted with Norfolk blue, which is almost like a tarmac color. And during the immersion of salt air, seawater, jet exhaust, jet fuel, trampling on the deck all the time with the air wing crews. Left the decks spotted up with natural teak, as you see here. I like those regular missiles right there. When I first looked at the kit, I thought, a donkey. The donkey was used more or less to pull aircraft to the hangar decks, and also pull them up to pretty much up to the hangar decks, more or less, to up the elevators. And they use the tow aircraft. And so these here are more or less like launchers on here with the regular missiles. These things were ballistic missile testers too. These were drones. These things actually were drones, these regular missiles. They use them to shoot them down for practice. Guys made 3D Sky Warriors kit gives you 2 of them. And aft you get F9F Cougars. The AZ Cougar aircraft are pretty well detailed, as some expect, not that much. To my shock, they didn't give me no stars and bars put on here, so there ain't no stars and bars on here. This kit was reboxed by Renwal. You can see how I treat the deck a little bit, fellas. Took a lot of time to do this. I visualized this in my mind. I could take a look at a ship and close my eyeballs and look at what it used to look like. Because I used to walk decks like this all the time. For 30 years, I walked decks on ships like this. I maintained decks like this as a bosun's mate. I holystone decks like this as a bosun's mate. These things sure collect rust a lot because they've been at sea a lot, guys. I kept the rust very subtle on this thing, as much as I used to see them. They come in a port, like in the Philippines somewhere, we just get Mary Sue, which is yard workers, Filipino yard workers. These come over and clean the ship, side clean the ships, call them side cleaners. And they used to, us bosun's mates used to climb up the island up there with a bosun's chair and go there and red lead, wire brush, red lead, and paint haze gray on the all deck surfaces. Then all aircraft on the hangar, we go ahead and start painting the deck, go down there to the paint locker down below with the bosun's locker, which is forward, and grab 5-gallon buckets of Norfolk blue and start rolling out the paint on the decks. But they didn't stay very clean very well, because you got to realize, man, we got constant trampling on the deck for personnel, aircraft taking off every day. That does a toll. It's like a floor. When you walk on the floor or walk on the deck all the time, you got to run into, it's going to be wear and tear involved. Starboard side. You see, you had no carly boats, they had life jacket lockers, those bright orange. Back in the 1950s, they were very keen on having fluorescent orange for life jacket lockers and also flight suits for the pilots. By the mid-1960s, they got away from the doggone, those red anti-fluorescent J suits, we used to call them. And they went back to all the drab. Life jacket lockers were painted deck gray, too, as well. There's the island again, starboard side. Now, we'll back off the camera and explain about the flaw in this kit. When they made this kit, designed it, they cut off at least a quarter inch of the bottom of the hull. That hasn't been, I say back in those days, guys, there was no CAD drawings. Everything was done with a pair of calipers, a scale rule. You had to draw your own blueprints by copying the original blueprints off the real thing and producing it into an ejection plastic model. And they needed drawings for that to do that. It was done by hand. And those guys, sometimes they were very keen on accuracy. But you get a rivet counter who looks at this ship and say, man, it's like half the hull's gone to the bottom. Well, that wasn't my fault. That was the kid's fault. That was the company's fault. At the time, there's no such thing as rivet counters, pickers, everything. What you see is what you get, and you're very grateful, very happy, and very well pleased. Now, although in spite a quarter of this hull has not been molded on this kit because of oversea accuracy, I can live with this. It looks good. You still get a full hull. All the aircraft they give you that's all they give you, guys. A bunch of Panthers and two A3D Sky Warriors. They gave you a donkey, and also they gave you two other carriages with regular missiles, which is very welcome on a aircraft carrier at this time. They stopped doing that stuff during the Vietnam War. Came out pretty good, guys. I like it. Could have came out miles better, but I put some time in this thing, so it came out pretty well. Okay. That'd be about it right there, fellas. That'd be the conclusion of the final reveal for the Renwal 1/500 scale USS Shangri-La CV-38 Essex class. Okay, and what I'm going to do is give you guys a sneak preview of the Forrestal. I'm going to work on that too. Let me move this USS Shangri-La out of harm's way. Get it prepared for mounting somewhere with my shelf on the wall up there. Okay, you be there. All right, fellas, I'm gonna right here and work on this USS Forrestal. And working on this right now. I'm doing some sanding on it, priming. And I'm going to do some hull painting on it today. I got the undercoat of the red oxide, got the screws all painted. So I'm going to start masking out the water lines, so airbrushing the grays on this thing. One thing about this kit that really astounded me, I look at the air wing. I said, this is the air wing of the 1980s. And I look at the gun sponsons down below here. Well, the USS Forrestal was launched in 1955. 56 actually. The keel was late in 54. You used to have a big sponson down here. They had two 5-inch 38s, closed mounts. The same kind of mounts that was on my USS Forrest Sherman. They took those sponsons off, and I'm not too keen on modern ordnance. They replaced those two 5-inch 38s with a dome-shaped object, had a little gun sticking out. You know, I mean, it's very accurate. It really did the job. So I can see why they got rid of those 5-inch 38s. She went to a refit after she, 1967, after she was caught fire from a missile that was launched from an A-4 Skyhawk. That started it all, and also poorly trained sailors. I want to tell you something. I learned this when I was in boot camp, but that's one thing they didn't heed or didn't learn something. When you're fighting a fire aboard ship, especially petroleum, like JP5, black oil, oil and water, gas and water, petroleum, mineral spirits, acetone, anything is not mixed with water. Water only mixes with water. And to combat a situation like that, you got to use foam. They got to smother the fire out. These sailors didn't have no fire training at all. That's why these fires got out of control of this thing. If they would have foamed down the whole entire deck and foamed everything, they could have saved a lot of lives and saved a lot of aircraft that was jettisoned over the side because they were destroyed. And another thing too is really bad. They're using World War II 500-pound SAP bombs. They would probably drop from a Hellcat or a TBF or a Helldiver or even a Dauntless or a Hellcat or a Corsair or a B-25 or a B-24. Those kind of bombs they used. Those bombs are very old. And somehow there was a short somehow in the pigtail which arms the missile. When you put it on safety, it did something wrong and the missile shot off. Mr. McCain got blamed for that, but he didn't. There was another aircraft that done that. And so fire is spiraled out of control because of ill-trained sailors. Never fight fire with water. And then when they finally got the fire contained and everything, it was a lot of damage. The hull was burnt right down to the flight deck, into the compartments. All that fuel leaked down in the compartments, and the ship was actually burning from outside to inside. So once they got under control, she used to take the Puget Sound and for repair and refit. The deck, everything else remained the same, but the repairs is probably more internal more than external. And they changed the island too, I noticed. The island on the USS Forrestal, when she was launched, had about a 10-degree swept-back, almost like that of the Midway class carriers, like the Franklin Delano Roosevelt, USS Midway, the USS Coral Sea. They all had that swept-back funnels on there. So what they did, they more or less modernized it by putting a regular funnel on there, and the ship went to a refit, fellas. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, to my shock, when I received this kit, I was really expecting a kit that was produced back in 1957, 56, when it came out by Renwal. And this is the new kit they released, but it's under the 1980 refit up to the day it was scrapped in Brownsville, Texas, the port. So anyway, that's what's on the building board now, guys. We'll make back to yours truly here and finish up the video. So that's what's on the bench. So stay posted for the USS Forest Fire, and I got more builds, and I might bring out that 1/350 scale USS Enterprise by Tamiya. I might bring that out too, because these aircraft carriers are calling on. But I got a lot of makeup time for all the models I haven't done for a while, so I'm having a ball building these old classic models by Renwal. So I'm really enjoying myself, fellas. Modeling mojo is kicking in. Okay, time for you to kick out. Make mama happy, take care of yourselves, and stay focused. And please, 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 fellas, when you're outside the public, watch your surroundings. It's been a very sad day in America. We had 2 massive shootings. One shooting was 9 miles away from my house in the Oregon district. I don't dare venture there either because it's kind of wild out there anyway. And these gun stuff's getting out of control. A lot of people are picking on people with wearing guns like a gun. Oh, we gotta have some kind of gun control. Gun control ain't it. It's just the idea you get in the wrong hands of somebody, you're really gonna get in trouble. So, like I say, fellas, I don't want to go into the politics of guns and everything. I did enough of that in Vietnam. I don't want to do it.